Yo, it's WT Hamilton, and I approve this message.
Really, mofo? Really? Yeah, man, that be real though.
Alright, welcome to another episode of Using the Law of Attraction in Your Daily Lives. And today we're going to talk about getting stuck. We don't want to get stuck in neutral. Sometimes when we're using the law of attraction, when we're trying to build our mindset for success, when we're trying to reach a big goal, sometimes we get stuck. We get stuck and then we start to make excuses for either why we're stuck or we give up. Sometimes we give up on the goal and we change the goal. That's not what you should do. That's not how the law of attraction works. A lot of people, they don't really understand how the law of attraction works. They understand the subconscious and the conscious mind, and they understand doing affirmations and being positive, and a lot of people, they're really into being spiritual, and so they try to be really harmonious and only say positive things and try to always be happy all the time and not have the full range of emotions that anybody else would have, right? But that's not the exact way the law of attraction works. So the law of attraction works through you trying something, and usually you're trying something you've never done before, and then you run into challenges, you run into hurdles, you run into setbacks. Some people call it failures. It's not failures. They're there by design. They're supposed to be there, because when you're learning something new, when you're trying something new, or you're trying something you've never done before, you have to learn how to do it. So it's not going to just naturally fall into place just because you're saying affirmations and you're using the law of attraction. You see, you have to be able to measure your success. So how are you going to measure your success if you don't have anything to measure it by? If everything just worked out, you wouldn't even know that you were successful. You would just take it for granted is really what would happen. But if you have to work for it, if you have to learn and build it, then it becomes very rewarding. Plus, you now know what works and how to get there, and how you've actually achieved it, how big of a scale that was, because you have something to measure by. So what happens is that when we start trying to change and change our lives and bring some positive, really exciting things into our lives, it could be money, relationships, whatever it is. When you decide that you want this and you start to focus on it and you start to think about it, and it becomes something that you really believe that you can have, you start to draw to you not only what you're wanting, but you start to draw what we call contrast. And that contrast needs to be there, because you need to know that this thing that you want, you can only have it if you go through this contrast. You have to experience some of what you don't want to know what it is that you want. First of all, it's a test to see if you really want it, how badly do you want it, but also to know what you're actually getting on the other side, what you're actually getting when you go through that thing that you don't want to experience. Now, what happens is most people, they try to avoid it. So there's a part of your journey that you have to go through to be able to bring all the abundance and all the success to you that you're looking for. But it comes at a I don't say at a price, but there's a cost to it. So you always have to go through something. There's some kind of struggle, there's some kind of hurdle, there's some kind of challenge, and usually that challenge feels and looks like it's going to defeat you. Like there's no way that you're going to get through it. And a lot of people in the law of attraction, this is where I think they get stuck in neutral. Why I say don't get stuck in neutral. So a lot of people, they start to think too much. They overthink too much. They try to read into what's going on too much. And they always, especially people with the law of attraction, they always make the wrong analysis. So what is it I'm talking about? Okay, I'm going to show it to you like this. I watch a lot of football. I love watching football. Watch the Steelers. That's my team, the NFL. So on their team, you have athletes. Sometimes these athletes get hurt. So they're working on becoming champions, becoming the best, and they get hurt. And what happens? What do? They don't say to themselves, oh, well, maybe the universe doesn't want me to play football. Maybe I'm not supposed to become a big superstar athlete. Maybe I'm not supposed to win the championship. Maybe this is a sign that I shouldn't do this. I should go do something else. That's not how they think. Maybe it's because they don't really know about the law of attraction, so they don't know that there's any of these signs. They're just focusing on getting back to playing and building up their skills and becoming really awesome at that sport. So they accept that they got hurt. They know that they can rehab, they can fix it, they can get better, and then they can get back to what they were doing. It's the same thing when you're trying to build success and you're trying to reach a goal and you run into this hurdle. And it could be a really bad hurdle, like you're running out of money. You're trying to build a business and all of a sudden you're running out of money. And you might say to yourself, oh, this is a sign and I'm not supposed to do this. No. It's a sign that you're almost there, man. That you are supposed to do it. You're supposed to keep pushing through and find a way. And what happens is a lot of times it's the thing that you need to do is the exact thing you don't want to do. It might be a painful experience, a scary experience. It's something that you don't want to do. But if you accept that this is something you have to master, you have to get through, then you can push through that. And on the other side is the abundance. It's the success. It's what you wanted. It's what you said that you wanted. So sometimes I think those things are in place to really test how badly do you want it. How badly do you really want it? How much do you really believe that you can have it? Because I'm going to throw all these things at you. I'm going to throw all these roadblocks at you. And I'm going to see if you're really focused, if you're really worthy of having this. Because if you're not really worthy, how would you have it? Why would you receive it? So this is where people with the law of attraction fail, and where people that don't use the law of attraction, they succeed, because they're not trying to read into it and read things that aren't there. They're not trying to say to themselves, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe this is a sign from the universe saying that I'm not supposed to do this. I'm supposed to change my goal and do something else. No, it's the universe actually showing you that here's the contrast. So this is the exact opposite of what you're talking about that you want. And if you really embrace that and say, okay, I'm going to experience that, because now when I start to get the thing that I want, I'm going to be able to measure, and I'm going to know, do I have 50% of what I want? Am I finished with this manifestation, or is it bigger? What is the exact opposite of having it, right? What is the exact opposite of not having it? What are those two things? Now, once you know the two opposites, you really know how much you're getting, how much you're receiving. And if you want the whole thing, you want the exact opposite of not having it, now you know what the exact opposite would be like. So if you're really running out of money, then you know what it's going to be like to have an abundance of money. So if you only start to bring in a little bit of money, you're not finished. It doesn't mean that it's time to move on to the next goal. Keep going, because now you have something to measure it by. You know what it's like to be on the other side of that. That's what the contrast is. So the contrast is part of the law of attraction. It's not a sign from the universe telling you to quit, telling you that you shouldn't do this. It's a sign from the universe showing you that you can do this, And here's the contrast. Here's the opposite of what you wanted. Now, what happens a lot of times too is the other problem of why people get stuck in neutral is because they try something and then they run into these problems, and maybe they couldn't solve that problem, so they don't go back and try it again. But there's a bunch of stuff when you're trying anything, there's a bunch of stuff that's working for you. It's never that you try something and nothing works. So the things that are working, now you already know you can do those again. And the things that didn't work, now you know, okay, those things don't work. I need to either tweak them, or I need to change the approach. I need to fine tune it so that it will work with the things that are working. So it's the law of attraction, it's the universe, it's whatever you want to call it, showing you how to do it, how to get there. Okay, you said you want this. Here's your first initial try. Here's some things that worked. Here's some things that didn't work. And now what are you going to do on your second try? Well, you're going to do the things that did work, and you're going to fine tune those things that didn't work. Okay, now on your second try, more things worked for you, but there's still some things that didn't work. So now what are you going to do? Well, on my third try, I'm going to do all those things that worked, plus I'm going to change up a couple of things that didn't work. And you just keep doing that process over and over and over until everything works. That's what part of the contrast is. It's having that hurdle and then taking your approach and trying it over and over and over until you build the success. That's why we build success in steps, in stages. That's how the law of attraction really works. There's a few other things that I will let you in on with the law of attraction, but I'm not going to let you in on them right now. I want you to really start to think about that process first. Start looking at what are your excuses right now for where you are right now. And how many times have you just walked away from something that you were working on because you thought maybe you weren't supposed to do this, it was a sign that you weren't supposed to do it. Go back and look at those things that you were working on, and look at the things that were working, and look at the hurdles and struggles that you had, and say to yourself, okay, what if I could find some solutions for those hurdles and struggles? Could I do this again, and this time be more successful at it? And could I do that process that I've just learned of keeping to build on the things that worked and keep tweaking the things that didn't work and finding solutions for the things that didn't work? Can I do that? And can I repeat this 4, 5, 6 times? And where will that put me after those 5 and 6 times? Am I going to be so much farther ahead and so much more successful because I kept trying? Because that is how you build success. You keep trying and you adjust, and you try and you adjust. You don't change the goal. You don't change the goal every time that things get too hard. You know, I see it all the time. I see people that they're doing an MLM thing and they're so excited about it and they're going to make all kinds of money and then blah 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 blah. And then it gets hard and then they say, oh, this MLM thing, it sucks, it's garbage, it's nothing. And then a few months later they're trying another MLM product, but this time this is the one. Yeah, this is great, this is awesome, it's going to work. And then it gets hard and then they drop that one. Ah, the MLM doesn't work, it sucks, it's garbage. And then you see them a few months later, and it's just a cycle of starting, being excited, getting stuck, and then starting something else, getting excited, and being stuck. That's what I'm talking about when I say don't get stuck in neutral. Don't get stuck always starting, always being excited, and then trying something and giving up on it because it gets hard. You're not supposed to give up on it. If you really believe that you can do it, and you really believe this is something that you're passionate about, that you really want to experience, you really want to have, all you have to do is start accepting the contrast and learning how to work through it, learning how to build success by trying and adjusting and trying and adjusting. That is part of the law of attraction. So anybody that tells you that law of attraction is just some magic la la land thing, that you focus and you believe and you will have it, and that there is no struggles and that you're not supposed to experience struggles, they don't really understand the law of attraction. Because the law of attraction, you have to have some struggle. You have to have some contrast in your journey, because it's the way that you measure your success. It's the way that you learn how to build your success. It's that every time that you solve one of those problems, you're farther ahead. You're farther ahead in building your abundance, in building your success. So don't run from the struggle. Run toward the struggle. Face it. Take it on. Just choose it as a challenge, because it's not failures. They're just setbacks. They're just setbacks. What it means is that you need to step back when you have a setback. You step back, you analyze, and then you reapproach. You reapproach with all these new tools that you've just figured out and learned how to use. That's how you become successful using the law of attraction. That's why we do these podcasts, because we want you guys to be successful using the law of attraction in your daily lives. Every time that I learn things, I'm always learning more stuff about the law of attraction. Every time that I learn things, I try to share it with people. I try to let them see the insight and see, hey, this is how you can do it. This is one of the reasons why I don't do all the La La Land stuff. I know it's great, it makes people feel great, but I want to be able to teach people how to use the law of attraction as a practical thought process, as a practical tool that you can use and you can apply to anything that you want to do. And if you want to add in all the spiritual stuff, I do some spiritual stuff too. If you want to add in, that's your personal choice. But it doesn't have to be a part of this. This is a thought pattern. This is a way of thinking, analyzing, and adjusting. You know, we have gratitude. We feel good. We give thanks. We make declarations. We do affirmations. But our main work is learning how to focus on what we want, finding them opportunities, and learning how to navigate through the struggles, learning to use contrast to become better, stronger, smarter, and more capable at what we're doing. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I know it's a big chunk. It may be a little bit different than some of the other podcasts that I've been doing, but it's something that's really important that I find people struggle with, and they get stuck in neutral because they don't really understand the signs. They don't really understand why they have that struggle, why they have that hurdle. And so then they just make these excuses of why they're where they are right now, instead of realizing that you have the solution. The contrast is the solution. It's giving you the solution so that you can have what you want, so you can have an abundant life. Alright, thanks for joining. Remember to subscribe to the channel, share this with your friends, and check out some of the other things that we have. There's links for you to check out some extra training. You can buy our books. There's all kinds of things that you can do to really expand your knowledge and abilities to use the law of attraction in your daily lives. Thanks, and we'll talk to you again.
Check out our motivational books. We have many motivational books helping you with the law of attraction, with personal development, with creating that mindset for success. You can get our books online everywhere, so check those out. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, like this channel, comment, leave a comment, let us know what you think, and subscribe to this channel so you can check out more videos. And yo, share this with your friends, man. Let your friends experience this too, because your friends are gonna like it. I know they will. Also, check out our new podcast show. We're dropping episodes weekly, so you check that out. You can learn a lot about using the law of attraction in your daily lives.
Yo, it's W.T. Hamilton, and I approve this message.
You don't know.
Alright.